What's going on, everybody? Now, that's Call of Duty. Now, you may be asking yourself, Trail, what does this have to do with Madden? What possibly could Call of Duty have to do with Madden? Read that keyword, layoffs. Call of Duty was hit by layoffs due to the simple fact of the direction the game wasn't going in. Now, I want you guys to understand one or two things. We're not as vocal and we're not as big as the Call of Duty community. But what I want you to look at is the key thing that it says here. During Activision's quarterly earning call in this month, the publisher acknowledged that Infinity Ward wasn't the success we planned, saying that the players were not happy with the direction the game was going in, which is kind of what we are looking at right now in the Madden community. Now, you're probably saying to yourself, well, okay, what does that mean? What does that have to do with us? That means that in general, that Activision actually went and listened to the players. They actually took time out their day to talk to the players, to find out, to see, okay, what was the number one thing and how did this happen? Like, why did we not? We were the number one selling game last year. So what happened that made us, just drop? What destroyed us? What took us off the top of the mountain? Now, Call of Duty was still one of the top games, but at the same time, they put so much money into that game and changing the physics of the game and making it more playable for everybody else. Sound familiar? Because this is exactly what Madden is doing. Now, you may say, okay, give me a perfect example. Well, Call of Duty basically went out and said, you know what? Everybody complains about campers. We're going to get rid of campers. Well, if you could camp, you could probably play by yourself and you could lock yourself up in a room. But camping was just staying in one spot and killing everybody. Now, the next look at it. Okay, well, everybody got tired of not having gun skill. So we're going to release target finders. You don't have gun skill. We're going to release the target finder to help you get gun skill. Now, people couldn't strafe. Okay, so we're going to make it easy for you to strafe by just pressing a button. You didn't have to actually have skill at the game. You didn't have to practice the game. And that's what Madden is going toward right now, you guys. If you don't understand what I'm saying, is Call of Duty actually took skill to play. And that right now is where Activision is going back to. Activision wants to go back to the heart of the game and having skill to play. They said it didn't go over well with the players. It didn't go well over with what they call them, veteran players or throwback players, the players who've been playing for years on end and wonder, hey, how come now, something that I took time and skill and practice, now you only have to press a button to do. What happened to actually putting forth the effort and time into a game, which is where we're at in Madden? And if you don't understand what I'm saying, EA is trying their best to basically make Madden a game where everybody can play, where everybody's having fun. And that's not exactly what we're looking at here today in Madden. That's why a lot of people are annoyed with the game, because they went out and tried so hard to just make the game playable. In a certain sense, let's say right now, you guys have noticed that this year, when you catch the ball in open space, you turn up into a defender. Well, when you turn up into a defender, that was basically so people who didn't have user skill or people who didn't know how to make open field tackles, they had a better chance of tackling you. That's one issue. Now, for everybody who's saying that, oh, well, the game's broken, it's broken. But at the same time, it's not something that they didn't know. Edge pressure. Edge pressure would not even work if these two things happened. You can move with your quarterback and you could scramble. Remember last year when you press the scramble button, you just take off running up the gut. Now imagine if you saw a cornerback come off the edge and you could scramble this year. If you could scramble this year, edge pressure would not be existent. And the nano detection system would actually have to be reenacted. It'd have to be taken off the game, which, if you don't know, the nano detection system took a big hit after the last patch, and you're seeing more random nanos nowadays. But like I'm saying, if you could scramble, do you really honestly think that quarterbacks who had speed wouldn't destroy the game? They make it really hard for you to get pressure on people. Now, after the last patch, if you didn't notice, the blitzes and edge pressure come in delayed because people cried about nanos, but now they're crying about edge pressure coming in too fast. Now, if you notice, you can't really do a lot of edge pressures anymore. Like the 3-4 odd, if it comes in very slow and delayed. A lot of edge pressures were not negated out the game, but they were delayed. There was one situation where I began to notice that EA actually is putting forth the effort to help people. Now, the equalizer was never very noticeable in games until this year. This year, it seems like the equalizer is on everybody's side. Like the equalizer is clearly out in the open very heavily. And one way I can tell you this is that they've went out and they've made it so returning interceptions is impossible. Have you ever picked off a ball and noticed how the defender stumbles or he gets stuck? Well, that's by design, you guys. That's why no one's ever said anything, because EA knows, hey, that's by design. We can't do anything about that. Because let me give you a perfect example. If you come out and you throw into a zone, you get picked off, pick six. Now, you come out your second drive. You move downfield. You throw a flat in the goal line. You get picked off. That's 14 points right there you just given up. Now, you come out again, you get sacked, and you fumble the ball. The guy picks it up, returns it for a touchdown. Guess what happens then? You bag out of the game, which means in general that player was a lot better than you. You just didn't have the skill or the ability to attack him. You made very dumb reads and you threw into it. Now, I'm going to give you another example. I will fumble the ball if I try to truck somebody. I'm punished for trying to truck somebody. I'm punished for trying to drop my shoulder and truck you. But I'm not punished for throwing into coverage, which is a weird situation if you ask me. They'll punish you for trying to do juke moves, but they don't punish you for throwing into coverage, which was another problem. Now, this year, there's so many problems that I just can't rattle them all off. But let's say when the game first came out, everybody said the perfect thing. This game was rushed. It was rushed. They were so afraid of not doing better than last year. They went out and they've done their best to negate the rocket catch. But the rocket catch was not nothing I couldn't stop. I could stop you from rocket catching. I could stop you from user catching because I actually had the ability to user. Which you see sometimes that there's some guys who have great user and some guys who don't have any user at all. And it kind of hinders people. So let's say if they took off aggressive catching, a lot of you guys would not be able to move the ball downfield. If they took off the way that they apparently fix the so-called run game, the run game isn't fixed. What happens is they remove the speed on the game so you can't shoot gaps like you used to. And if you shoot a gap, you're going to stumble, which is just one of the 10,000 problems that Madden has this year. But I'm going to let you guys get on up out of here just like Big Tay did, because he challenged me to a game and he ran away. You guys have a good one. Catch you next time.